Welcome to Is It Worth It?
Where we rant about books
and other things.
This is our very first podcast made by OPL teens, and we hope you enjoy.
What's up? I'm Victoria. My pronouns are she, her. I like reading and talking about movies and books and eating ice cream. When I'm not reading, I'm outside playing games with my neighbors and friends.
Hi, my name is Rebecca, and my pronouns are she/her, and I like to banter about books. It's one of my favorite hobbies out of, posting reviews on Goodreads for fun. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Hey, it's Hayat. My pronouns are she, her. I like turtles, books, and I love watching heated debates. Joining me in the tech support team is Carter. Carter uses they, he pronouns. In their free time, you can find them reading in a corner and avoiding confrontation. And on the rare occasion that they leave their room, you can find him lurking in the horror or fantasy sections of the library, looking for his next read.
Our topic today is the two books we chose worth it? We will share our thoughts and opinion as we choose if the book selected is worth your time or not.
Rebecca chose to talk about Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi.
And my friend Victoria chose to talk about Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Let's begin. My summary for Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi is the book Shatter Me is based on our main character, Juliet. Juliet has magical powers, and when she touches people, they die. In the beginning of the book, the author goes into description about Juliet's trauma and her experience in solitary confinement. The location of this book is based in a dystopian city.
Caraval's about a girl, Scarlet, who fulfill her sister Tella's dream to go to an island and play this game, Caraval. Tella gets a chance to play Caraval, however, Scarlet is meeting her arranged marriage a few days after, which is cutting it close. Tella kidnaps Scarlet with a random sailor named Julian, and after arriving at the island, Scarlet finds out that Tella is kidnapped by the master of Caraval, Legend, only to find that this year's Caraval game revolves around Tella. The player who finds Tella is granted one wish.
So I have some questions about your summary, and then you can go into talking about mine. So Tella is kidnapped by Legend, a man.
Yeah, Legend is he runs Caraval. He has a magical power, and he put together a game where every year there's a new game, and you win a prize at the end, whoever.
At the end of the book, I'm sorry to just skip to the end. This Stella win back her sister. Does she completely just die, or?
I think you have to read the book to find out.
Wow, that's kind of very mean of you, because I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. Oh, shit. But we'll have to see. From the summary, it seems very, very interesting. I feel like it's kind of like a mysterious type of book. I don't know, when you were telling me the summary, I kind of got a vibe from Squid Games. I don't know if you've seen the show.
Yeah, it's more of a scavenger hunt. It's not exactly like Squid Games. It's more of a scavenger hunt.
It is?
Mm-hmm. I was wondering about your summary, what other characters there are.
So there's Adam. We don't talk about him. He's like the plain bagel of everything. And then we have Warner, the obsessive psycho, Mr. Wannabe. And then we have Juliet. She comes off as strong in the beginning of the book, and I kind of feel a connection to her because she gives off this, oh, I'm independent, I can do whatever I want. And then later on in the book, she's just out of order. She's this wicked, stubborn girl that just does nothing but worry about Adam's blue eyes. And we are going to get into that because I have a lot to say about that. So what's the concept in Caraval? Because I kind of understand that it's a survival game, but is there anything more to it?
It's not exactly a survival game. It's more if you want to win and get the prize, you just have to play. But some characters in the game don't really want to win, so they don't really play. Sorry.
So Stella's the only one that plays this game, for a matter of fact that she does want to win her sister, or does she?
Scarlet, yeah. Scarlet, she's she loves her sister. She wants to take care of her all costs. So she needs to get Tella. So
do any of the characters end up having a love interest?
Scarlet, it's kind of enemies to lovers, where at the start of the book, Scarlet hates Julian, and she thinks that he's the reason that Tello was taken away from her.
Oh.
But at the end, yeah. She
Okay.
kinda,
I don't know why I was expecting when you said enemies to lovers. I quickly thought that Scarlet was gonna like fall for Legend, and I was like, oh no. I was ready to just get up and leave.
not
But
Scarlet.
okay, so does Tella end up having like Stockholm syndrome when she like falls in love with Legend after he literally just kidnaps her, or
I will
nothing
not be
like that?
telling you that.
Okay, so I'm already guessing it did happen then.
Yeah.
It did. I know this books.
But in the world, there's a lot of actors, and like there's a line. It's like, people in Caraval are not who they seem. So she does possibly fall for the wrong Legend.
Oh my. So it's like it's like Manhunt now. So it's like all over the place.
There's a lot of twists.
That's very interesting then.
So what'd you say about Adam's blue eyes? Is there like a social meaning to that?
Oh my gosh. I have a lot. I felt like when I was reading the book, the writing, first I want to talk about the writing because the writing was a mess. I am so sorry. Have you ever read a book that has like lines crossed on it? Like, have you had
Dork
that?
Diaries.
Yes, Dark Diaries. But Tahereh Mafi decided to take that concept into Shatter Me. And honestly, at the beginning of the book, I kind of ignored it, but it started to get more and more irritating because the cross lines represented her thoughts, like what she actually was thinking. So let's say she was to say, I hate noodles. She would cross it and just be like, I like noodles. Like, it made no sense. It was out of order. I didn't like it. And for Adam's blue eyes, I promise you, if I see one more line of some metaphorically made up whatever, I will literally just throw myself out of a river. In fact, I do have a game to play with you.
Alright.
Okay, so I want you to guess which quote is about Adam's blue eyes that's said by Juliet, and a quote from a hairstyle fan fiction, literally from straight up Wattpad. I'm not playing. Okay, so number 1, a shade of blue in the midnight sky. So what do you think said that? The Wattpad or Juliet?
Wattpad?
Juliet. Number 2, crimson blue eyes that drowned me. What do you think said that?
Wattpad.
Juliet.
Crimson? But I thought you had blue eyes. Crimson is red, isn't it? Am I wrong?
Wait, it's the Wattpad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I think the one with the crimson blue eyes, I think it was from a vampire fan fiction. I can't remember.
hairstyles?
Yeah, Wattpad is a crazy place. Number 3, 2 buckets of rainwater, deep, fresh, clear.
That's Juliet.
You're correct. I don't understand what rainwater has to do with someone's eyes, but whatever.
Look at it clear.
Yes, I don't ask me
You can
questions.
look into soul through a bucket of rainwater.
Number 4, midnight moments filled with memories, the only windows into my world. What do you think said that?
Hopefully Wattpad.
It was Juliet. You're wrong. And our last line, the eyes of the moon. It outshines the stars and blazed across the depths of the world. What do you think said that?
Juliet?
Wattpad. I think the lines that came from Wattpad are so much more better than whatever she says.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Now I feel like all the quotes that Juliet said about Adam's eyes were like, she wanted to, like, if she were to die, she would reincarnate as like Adam's blue eyes. Like, she would die and then come back as his eyes again. Because she had a fixation on them, and it was crazy. I don't think there was not a single paragraph without mentioning his eyes. It was irritating. Oh my.
So she's in love with his eyes, not his personality.
Yeah. What personality? He has no personality whatsoever. Well, except in the beginning of the book. But later on, Adam was just as plain as bread. Dry, stale bread.
Toast, no jam.
No jam. There was no jam to begin with, let's be honest. Okay, so enough about Adam's blue eyes. what was your favorite character in Revel? Like, who were your favorite characters? And, like, who were your least favorite to your favorite?
I think Tella would be my favorite because she seemed like careless and like she didn't have so many worries as Scarlet, because Scarlet was worrying like the whole book. She did do a lot for her sister, which I give her credit for, but she worried like the whole book. She kind of had like no fun. It's like she doesn't know how to have fun, and Tella does. And then Julian, in the later books, you learn more about Legend. So I did like Legend more than Julian, because Julian was kind of a little bit dry, and I don't know, he's a perfect match for Scarlet, but Tella and Legend, I ship them. Legend was so much better. He's like, you know Conrad from like The Sunrise Turned Pretty?
Oh my god, I'm leaving.
He was like that.
No. Oh my god. Okay, so Julian was the stale bread of Adam. So, like, they were both stale. They had no... Or did Julian have personality?
He had more personality than how you describe Adam, but he was a little bit dry.
Could you stand him in the book? Like, were you okay with his character? Was his...
Yes, I could stand him.
Okay.
But he was like, I questioned some parts, like, what he said and stuff.
Okay. How was your opinion with the writing? Because I feel like writing is a very big part of a book.
Yes, huge. The writing was good.
Okay.
There was no crossed out lines.
Thanks for the shade.
Yeah, it was good. The first book was just one POV. It was just Scarlet's, and then the second book is just Tella's, and then the third book is both of theirs.
Okay.
But the writing was good. It was very descriptive. I like how she described Caraval, because it's like a very magical place. Seasons change. There's magic like everywhere and stuff.
Okay. So that's nice.
I want to know a bit more about Warner.
He's an obsessive psycho serial killer. So he fell in love with Juliet for some reason. I don't know.
Because she can kill.
Yeah, she can kill. She's there. She's the main character. But he did have a personality unlike Adam, and I feel like his personality was more like he was independent. He was ready to chase for what he wanted, while Adam was like whiny and just like there was a part where Juliet said, "Don't touch me," because she knew her power could hurt Adam, and Adam got angry at her, was like, "Oh, is it because you don't like me, or is it because of this?" And I was just like, What are we? This is not Disney Channel, guys. Come on. You're literally trying to survive in a dystopian world. But anyways, he did like Juliet, and he was very crazy about her. But the funny thing was, Juliet did not reciprocate the feelings whatsoever. Juliet didn't like didn't like Warner at all. Like, she did give him some glances, but there was nothing going on there. More like with Adam, where she was more, expressive. She had more feeling towards him. And I think that's the reason why I kind of like Juliet, because she wasn't like a two-timer. She wasn't playing with Adam's feelings, and she wasn't playing with Warner's feelings. Because I don't think it would have made a good book, and I feel like it would be out of the way, too much.
What about the setting? Like, where did they meet and like how?
They met. It doesn't really describe how they really meet, because Juliet was like going from different adventures. She was going everywhere, because remember that she is supposed to be locked up. She's not supposed to be free. Wait, oh my gosh.
She's always on the run.
I know.
Different places.
Yeah, and there's a funny thing about that. Adam was looking for Juliet throughout most of the book. In the beginning of this book, he was like this mysterious guy that was like looking for his best friend for so long. And then when he found her, it was just whatever. And yeah.
So his best friend still love her?
Yeah, it was a best friends to lovers, but I also feel like it was like an instant love. Like, we didn't really get that connection. It was just like, oh, since they're friends, they're gonna be in love. So I didn't really like that. I wish like we had more concept into their love. Like, when she finds out that he betrayed her, and she would have more emotions to it, and like it would kind of build up to something, but it didn't. So it kind of just went haywire. So,
what book did you find similar to Shatter Me?
Red Queen.
I hate Red Queen.
Oh my gosh. So many people have told me that they hated the book. But like I said, I love reading books that people hate and then adding more fuel to the fire. Because why not? I'm a child. Let me have fun. Well, I'm a teen, but whatever. But I feel like if there were to do like a collab, if Tahereh Mafi and the author of Red Queen were to, become besties, I feel like Juliet and Mare, which her name sounds like a horse, by the way, would become best.
Yes,
and does. It will become best of friends. I don't know why. I'm sorry, but in my script, I wrote like Juliet the whiner and Mare the red horse would be a perfect couple for each other. Like, let's have like a romantic LGBTQ book where whiny number one, annoying number two become the best lovers, and then Adam, Warner, Cal, Maven, and whichever irrelevant character can be like the little minions where they like, ooh, we're so sorry, we love you. And then Mare and Julia can be like, no, we're made for each other. We don't like you.
That's the whole book.
That's the whole book. And the book would just be based in a dystopia. Like, I'm sorry if there's any authors listening to this. Start writing about this, because I'm sorry, I would read this and I would eat it. I would literally post it on TikTok, and like, people should be writing this now, right? Because like, this is the perfect story. This is the perfect love YA book for anyone. Just like two lesbians that hate each other, whine and cry about everything, and then their little minions like running around causing chaos.
I think the writing, like how you described Shatter Me, I think it's so similar. Boring.
Oh yeah. The writing in Red Queen and the writing in Shatter Me were kind of similar, because there is a lot of metaphoric sentences that just don't make sense.
I think the most metaphors in the book I've read is We Were Liars.
Ooh, I haven't.
So many
read
metaphors, but they're like E. Lockhart made them so realistic. Like I actually thought that was happening. I was like, what?
Like there are times where when people use metaphors, they try to make it very descriptive to the readers, or like sometimes they just make it too confusing that people aren't able to elaborate what they're saying. Like you could easily just write, she walked down the hall, instead of she walked down the short corner, with the irony of infinity and feels the cold wet. Like, come on, shorten the sentence and just move on. So yeah, writing is a huge part of books, by the way. So what book did you find similar to Caraval?
I think that Caraval was very similar to the Inheritance games.
Ooh,
I like the writing in both.
I really want to read it.
It's really good. And it was both like a mystery where you get taken to like this whole new setting, and then there's a mystery you have to solve.
Oh my.
Scavenger hunt, like
I've heard that you've read Cruelty Prince, which is the book I'm gonna
The
start.
Cruel Prince.
The Cruel Prince. I call it Cruelty Prince. I don't know. I've heard that you read it, and like, how's your opinion about it? Because I've been hearing mixed reviews. Like, I have a friend that's read it and does not like the book at all.
Well, I don't like people who don't like Cruel Prince, so
Wow.
I don't like it. But yeah, it's kind of similar to the Cruel Prince too. Like a whole new world. Like the setting's very similar.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to read it
I
then.
want to say the characters are very similar.
Oh, okay.
Worth it.
Was it worth it? I really enjoyed your description on Caraval. I really like the similarities with Inheritance Game. Even though I haven't read it, I feel like the title really does bring some similarity to the both of them.
And the third book's coming out soon.
Okay, thanks. Shout out to the author for making a third book for a book I have not read. That's very not nice. But I feel like your description was worth it. I think I am going to give this book a try. It seems like a very fun, lighthearted, but also filled with a lot of angst and a lot of like mystery, which I am very interested.
It's very lighthearted.
Okay.
Was it worth it for your book? I think I will not be reading that book because you persuaded me the whole time not to read it. Maybe I'll read it so I can talk about how bad it was, though. I like doing that.
Yes, you should read it to talk about how bad it was. So that was our conclusion for our podcast.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed listening to two girls rant about books. It was Rebecca.
And Victoria.
Don't forget to check out OPL Teens Library online and in person since quarantine's gone. And we have different variety of books, so just come check it out. Maybe you might have a chance to be on this podcast.
Caraval.
Shh. Maybe you might have a chance to come on our podcast.
Don't sign out. Shatter Me.
And please just take our rants with a grain of salt. If you really do want to go ahead and read Shatter Me, you have all the rights. You can go and read Caraval. I will be trying to read book 2 when I have the time and when my mental health is all right. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.